Greetings, peoples. I'm an android, this is Bytes of Food, and tonight I'm going to try Babby's first licorice. Now, it turns out in places like America, licorice is not that much of a thing, and let's face it, the licorice was originally designed as an expectorant cough drop, so yeah, no, it's not going to taste that great. But over time, they followed the Mary Poppins school of medicine and put in a spoonful of sugar to help it go down better. And now it is a beloved treat all over Europe and also down here in Australia. But I never liked it much as a kid. The only way I even developed a taste for licorice was through licorice bullets. And whilst I was looking for other licorice to do this episode, I found dark chocolate covered licorice bullets, so I'm going to try these. I've never had dark chocolate on them before. Now, as a kid, I despised licorice so much that I would not even eat the licorice in a licorice bullet. I would just shove the whole thing in my face, let the chocolate melt a bit, then use my tongue to just wipe off all the chocolate, spit out the licorice, and just hold on to the flavor of the chocolate for as long as I possibly could. I've outgrown that now. I actually do find the flavor of licorice quite nice, if not just palatable, so I'm actually looking forward to this. Now, one of the things that you consider when you're having a licorice bullet as opposed to other types of licorice is licorice bullets tend to get dried out for some reason. I'm not exactly sure if it's a factor of the chocolate having all of those sugar crystals in it, drawing out the moisture or whatever, but the licorice in a licorice bullet tends to be chewier, and I like that. I don't know if you heard that, but as I was chewing on it, my jaw cracked. It's just so chewy. But it's also really mild. And it's just this nice snack that you can have a little bit of every now and then. But yeah, I really like it. Takes me back to my childhood. One of these, the things that these were used for a lot is decorations in cakes. If you wanted to form a line of things, you do it usually with chocolate bullets and make good borders. The most notable uses of these is in the Australian Woman's Weekly cake decoration book. If you're not in Australia, which is not a lot of my audience it seems, but if you are somebody outside of Australia, look up this book. It is so much a part of so many people's childhoods that they contacted Woman's Weekly, a weekly magazine publication, and went, hey, you did this book, can you do it again? And they did, because so many people said that. And these would be used as like borders around the edges of the cakes, as lining around like race car tracks and stuff like that. These were all over those cakes, and I'm sure it accounted for a lot of the sales of licorice bullets back then. Seriously, guys, look it up. There's a blog, actually, of a woman who is actually trying to recreate every single one of those cakes. I'll see if I can find it and put the link in the doobly, because those cakes are amazing. And these are a significant contribution to it. But yeah, the chocolate melts off of the outside really quickly, and you're just left with the chewy licorice, which, yeah, made it so much easier as a kid to just go off, away. I'm cool with that. You don't like licorice, you're not gonna like this. It is pretty mild though, so this is a good way to introduce kids to it. But now, let's try the dark licorice. I'm wondering if actually using dark chocolate instead of milk is going to change how I interact with the licorice in any way. I'm expecting it to be really chewy again. But yeah, we'll see. ways that they make licorice is that they take the anise and the other herbs and flavors that go into licorice, and they weaken it by mixing it up with a flour concoction, and it's sort of a very syrupy dough, actually. So you can't feed these to somebody with gluten. Now, I bring this up because the dark bitterness of the dark chocolate does actually highlight the sort of savoriness of the licorice on the inside, and you sort of notice the floury, doughy flavor to it, actually, a bit. It's interesting. I like this one more. It's not the flavor I usually see in the milk chocolate licorice, and it gives another element to the licorice itself for me to appreciate. So I think if you are going to recreate one of those Woman's Weekly magazine cakes, maybe alternating it dark and light. It's interesting. Really, really interesting. I recommend you guys try this. And if you don't like licorice, these are a good way to try it. Because you get that nice hit of chocolate, and if you're like, nope, I don't like licorice, you can just go, poof. No guilt. But yeah, this was Licorice Bullets. I'm an android, and this was Bites of Food. And guys, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed any of my shows, please like, subscribe, favorite, sharing it. I would really appreciate if you share it with anybody who you think would appreciate this video. If you have any other suggestions for foods I should try, drinks I should try, any food challenge suggestions. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it, and it's really not recommended, but I am friends with somebody who's a paramedic, so I could do the cinnamon challenge. That's an option. It's kind of screw you if you suggest it, but if you suggest it, I'll do it. But yeah, I hope you guys have had a good night. I'm having a good one. My neighbors are having a good one. Thank you for the backing music, guys. And I'll see you all later. Bye!